known Percy the Green Engine for a super long time. And this is my story of how I first met him. It was just a seemingly ordinary day at Sugar Cube Corner. I was doing my usual work when suddenly a little mail pony came in carrying a letter for me. It said, "Dear Pinkie Pie, I hope you are not too busy, for I would like you to follow this map to the far end of Equestria. I hope you will..." Oh yeah, now I remember. I have an important task for you, and so does an old friend of mine. You will find out once you reach the place. Good luck and have fun. Yours truly, Princess Celestia. I was so excited I ran out the door as quick as a flash. But then I had to go back for the strange map I found. I happily followed it, doing what I usually do. Skip there. When I got there, it was quite colorful. Pink trees and bushes, and there was a strange door. Oh, I couldn't wait to see what was behind it. I opened it, and I was suddenly whisked off my hooves. I was flying through the tunnel. There were so many colors, I just wanted to catch them all. But then suddenly, bah! I landed on the grass. Only it wasn't the Ponyville grass. It was something else. It was a place I'd never seen before. I got out the map, and it had changed. That blue dot leading to a red X. Ooh, a treasure hunt! I thought to myself. How fun! I happily trotted along, following the map. As I followed the red line, the blue dot, which I suppose was me, followed with it. Finally, I came to where the X was supposed to be. And there, I found this little station. There were so many engines I couldn't even count them. They were red, blue, and green. There was one little green engine in particular that caught my eye. He was a round little green engine. And he had 4 wheels, a golden dome, and a golden whistle. And he had a yellow number 6 on his bunker. They all had faces, too. I wonder why these engines have faces, I thought. So I decided to go over there and introduce myself to this little engine. As I got closer, he let out a loud gasp when he saw me. I in turn let out an even louder gasp. "You can talk!" we said to each other in unison. "What are you? And who are you?" the little engine asked. I went up to him and smiled as wide as I could. "My name is Pinkie Pie, and I come from a faraway land. And what's your name?" The little green engine stared at me in wonder. I guess he had never seen anything like me before. I'm Percy. I'm new here. And I don't believe I've ever seen a pony that could talk and is completely pink from head to toe. "That's because I'm not just an ordinary pony, silly," I said. "I come from a place called Equestria, where I live in Ponyville." Ponyville? Equestria? What are those places? Just then another little engine came along, only this engine was a little bigger, and he was blue. He had a number 1 on both sides. and right beside him was Twilight. Hello, Pinkie, she said. I didn't expect you to be here. Hi, Twilight, I said, happily shaking her hoof. Then the two little engines stared at each other. They know each other? They said. Twilight introduced me to Thomas, the little blue engine. And I told them I had just met Percy. Percy was still slightly shocked that I was a pink pony. Just then, a chubby man with a top hat arrived.
So, Twilight, he said, who is this friend of yours?
Twilight replied, "This is Pinkie Pie. She's one of my friends from Equestria. I guess Celestia sent her over here."
Very well then,
he said.
Pinkie Pie, you are to work with my new tank engine, Percy.
No problemo, sir, I said. Percy, you and I are going to be the bestest of friends, I said with a wide grin. Percy said, I guess we are, though I could tell he was a little nervous. I guess he thought I was the strangest thing he ever saw. But he decided to be my friend anyway. Earlier that day, I was trying to put some things in a freight car when I overheard another engine talking to Percy. Percy looked upset. I decided to go over and ask him what was wrong, since that's always the first thing to do before you cheer them up. "What's wrong, Percy?" I asked. "Oh, you'll laugh," Percy said with a frown. "No, I won't." "Tell me, Percy." Percy let out a big sigh. The other day, I made a mistake. I failed to recognize a backing signal. I twitched one ear. "What's a backing signal?" "It's a signal that, well, it's kind of hard to explain. But I didn't recognize it, and now the other engines won't stop teasing me about it. Only Edward and Thomas don't laugh at me, but the others do." When I heard this, I was upset. You shouldn't laugh at someone just because they made a little mistake. You're telling me. Wait. So, I did the one thing I could to cheer my new friend up. I sang a song for him. Though I can't really tell you what it is. It's top secret. Okay? He liked it. It made him feel so much better. So after a few days, me and Percy became closer and closer as friends. I even showed him I had a pinky sense that could predict the immediate future. Percy tried to understand. Early one day, we met Thomas and Twilight at a station. We listened as Thomas and Percy started talking to each other. "Hello, Thomas. You seem cheerful," said Percy. Thomas looked over to some children. I saw the little human children were cute. "They're the Vicar's Sunday School," explained Thomas. "I'm busy this evening, but the Vicar asked me if you could take the children home." "Of course I will," promised Percy. So we left earlier that day. I promised Thomas I would take the children home for him. Then I decided to teach him another thing. You must use the Pinkie Promise, I told him. Percy looked puzzled. The Pinkie Promise? I showed him how to do it. Cross my heart and hope to fly, stick a cupcake in my eye. Percy looked at himself. If I had hooves like you did, that would be easy. Oh, but you can simply just say the words. Repeat after me. Cross my heart and hope to fly, stick a cupcake in my eye. Percy repeated it. Cross my heart and hope to fly, stick a cupcake in my eye. There you go! I knew you could do it. And so the two of us headed off. Percy was smiling. I loved it when Percy smiled. He looked very, very special. Well, then again, Percy's always been special. Then we came to the airfield. Harold's blades were whirring. Harold the helicopter, that is.
Sorry, Percy. Can't talk. I'm on high alert.
Why? Percy and I asked.
Bad weather's due. My help's always needed. Mind how you go, Percy.
Percy remembered his promise to Thomas. Oh, hey, that rhymes. As long as I've got my wheels to run on, he said, I could go anywhere in any weather anyhow. Goodbye. And he hurried off, and I just hopped along after him. Then we came to Wellsworth. Be careful, said Edward, who was waiting at the platform. There's a storm coming. And Percy remembered. A promise, and I must keep it. Like Pinkie Pie says, cross my heart and hope to fly, stick a cupcake in my eye. I hopped in. And you should never, ever, 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 under any circumstances, break a Pinkie Promise. That's right, Pinkie, Percy said. The children had a lovely day, but by tea time, dark clouds were moving in. Annie and Clarabelle were very happy when Percy arrived. We were just in time, and I had umbrellas on just for the occasion. The rain started streaming down Percy's boiler. Ugh! He shivered. I could tell he was thinking of being dry. Whenever I'm wet, I think of dry things. Dry towels, dry sand. I went on talking to him about dry things, and it started to make him feel a little better. But he kept on remembering his promise. We struggled on, past coastal villages and into the countryside. Even under my umbrellas I was getting a little wet. But we couldn't see that the river was starting to rise, and rise, and rise. I wish I could see, complained Percy as the rain batted against his face. Then I saw something ahead. Percy, I called out. Can orange juices be... Can there be such thing as orange juice rivers? No, said Percy. Why? Because of that! I cried out. Percy tried to brake, but it was too late. We both splashed into the flooded part of the island. That one flooded part. Oh! Wheezed Percy. What's wrong? I asked. The water's splashing my fire out. Not good, I said. I hopped into the cab. Percy was right. His fire was starting to sizzle out. Find more firewood! I cried out. I guess the men were annoyed by my shouting, so I decided to stop. They both went to the conductor, the brake van. I heard them say, "I'll have some of your floorboards, please. I only swept the floor this morning." But he still helped. They put the firewood in Percy's firebox, and I was lucky to have a dry box of matches. Soon Percy's fire was burning well. He felt warm and comfortable again. Then we heard a chop, 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 chop. It was Harold the helicopter flying overhead. I was happy, but Percy wasn't. "Oh dear," thought Percy. "He's going to laugh at me." "No, he's not," I said. "How could you have heard my thoughts?" "I just know. I could just tell by the look on your face." "Okay," Percy said. Suddenly, my tail began to twitch. "Your tail is twitching, Pinkie? Then that means something's going to..." But before he could finish his sentence, something hard, something attached to a parachute, landed on Percy's boiler. "Ow!" he exclaimed. "He shouldn't throw things." "That's a parachute," laughed Percy's driver. "Harold's dropping hot drinks for us." "Well," I said, "looks like my pinky sense has saved us from another disaster." "Thank you, Harold," I called out. "Yes, thank you," Percy added. "Good to be of service," Harold called down and buzzed away. At this time I knew it was getting late, so I decided to give Percy a push out of the water. It also lapped his wheels. Percy was starting to lose steam again, but I pushed and pushed, and he pulled and pulled. "I pinky promised," he said. "I pinky promised." "And never break a pinky promise!" I called out from behind. I ran back to the front, and we made one more big effort, and at last, exhausted but triumphant, we brought the children home. Thomas and Twilight were there. "Well done, Percy. Well done, Twilight. Pinkie," said Thomas. "You kept your promise despite everything that happened." "Well done," said Twilight. Then we heard Harold again. He brought Sir Topham's hat. "It wasn't really me all the way," said Percy. "Pinkie Pie helped a lot. I'm lucky to have her as my friend." "Aw, shucks," I said, blushing. Sir Topham Hatt thanked the men, then me, then Percy. "Harold told me you were a wizard, both of you. He said he could beat Percy at some things, but not at being a submarine." I giggled at this statement, though not too loud for Percy to hear. I don't know what Percy and Harold get up to sometimes, but I do know, Percy, that you're a really useful engine. And you, Pinkie Pie, are a really useful party pony. "Oh, sir," we both said happily. "I hope Pinkie Pie comes every day." And I came whenever I could. Me and Percy had so much fun together. He enjoyed a lot of things I did for him. And we lived happily ever after. And we were best friends. Well, that's my story of how I first met Percy the Small Green Engine. Goodbye, YouTubers! And prepare yourselves for the next story whenever it comes.